Leviticus chapter 19 serves as a central pillar in the Levitical Code, articulating a vision of holiness that extends beyond ritual and into every aspect of daily life. This chapter is sometimes referred to as a mini-Torah due to its wide-ranging instructions that touch upon moral, ethical, and ceremonial law. It echoes the call for the Israelites to be holy as God is holy. The chapter begins with God instructing Moses to speak to the entire assembly of Israel, emphasizing that these laws apply to all. The commandments start with a foundational principle of honoring one's mother and father and keeping the Sabbath, both central to Israelite identity. It then expands into various laws that govern the ethical behavior of the community. Agricultural practices are addressed with instructions to leave the edges of fields and the gleanings of harvests for the poor and the foreigner, reflecting a concern for social justice and care for the marginalized. The chapter also prohibits stealing, lying, and deceiving one another, upholding honesty and integrity as key values. The text moves on to labor rights, dictating that workers should be paid promptly, and to the treatment of the disabled, prohibiting taking advantage of them. The chapter also denounces unjust judicial practices, advocating for justice that is blind to the status of the individuals involved. Love for one's neighbor is a recurring theme, with the famous injunction, "Love your neighbor as yourself," which would later be cited by Jesus as part of the Great Commandment. This principle undergirds many of the specific laws presented in the chapter and serves as a summation of the ethical demands of the covenant. Ritual purity is not neglected. The chapter includes commands against sorcery, cutting the body for the dead, and tattooing oneself. The mixing of different species, whether in breeding animals, sowing fields, or wearing garments of mixed fabric, is also prohibited, symbolizing the importance of maintaining distinct boundaries as set by God. Leviticus chapter 19 presents a comprehensive and holistic portrait of what it means to live as a community dedicated to God. The laws cover a broad spectrum of life, from social interactions to economic practices, from justice in the courts to personal piety. This chapter reminds us that holiness is not compartmentalized but is to permeate every facet of life. The call to imitate God's holiness through ethical living and loving one's neighbor forms the foundation for a society that reflects God's character and intentions for humanity.